Hello. Hello. Okay, hang on a second. Don't tell me the chat's acting up again. Edit live chat. Hold on a second, everyone. The chat is acting up. Hi, everybody. I see you all coming in, but I cannot see you guys' chats yet. YouTube did something really weird with the whole with the chat thing, so give me a second to fix it. I should be able to get it back up in just a moment, because right now I can't see anything you guys are saying. Okay, save that. Okay, live chat disabled. Edit live chat, enable live chat. And did it work? There. Okay, so essentially what's going on, I don't know if you guys remember this. Remember when I busted up my laptop a while back, the great tea spill of 2021, and I couldn't see you guys' chat. I couldn't see you guys talking. Well, essentially every time I start up the live stream now, I can't see the chat. And the only way to fix it is to turn it off or disable the live chat and then turn it back on. So the strangest thing. Am I coming through okay? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hello. Testing. Is my mic working? Hello. Hello from Australia. Hi, Tyler. How are you? Gaming with Leo. Hello. Tobia. Hello. Bra. Hello. ZGG. Hug Sam. Hi. Hi, Charles. Simon. Yes. Hello. Show you making fun of the way I say hello. Hello. Graham Knight. We can hear you. Nice. Israel. Welcome back. Yes, we hear you. You got it, Gerald. Drew, hey Sam, I heard rumors that there was a cursed mummy on board the Titanic. There was not a cursed mummy. I talk about that in one of my videos in the Titanic Conspiracies. That was a mummy's curse story that went around. Okay, I think I'm going to have to go ahead and turn on slow mode, unfortunately. Live chat, enable slow mode. We'll start it at 20 seconds, see how that goes. 20 seconds, wow, 85 already, dang. Andy, had your coffee? Yes, I did have my coffee. How are you, Andy? Alex, hello, I'm back. Did you miss me? Yes, of course I did. Elemental Gaming, Sam, did you know 5,000 kids died on the Wilhelm Gustloff? I did not know that. I know that it was around 9,500 people died on the Gustloff, but I didn't know that there was that many kids on board. Adam, reporting for duty, Captain. Hello, Adam. Welcome. Israel, hey, Sam, how do you feel that the Carpathia sank? It's very sad that the Carpathia went down. Lars, Sweden calling. Hello from West Virginia. Jack Fowle, who would win, the USS Constitution versus the HMS Victory? I'm always going to side with the Constitution. Gia, okay, no beverages near the computer. All right, let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you how I fixed the whole beverage problem. So essentially what happened, this is my tablecloth, all right? And I caught that on my shirt when I went into the other room to get my power cable. And that's what caused my drink to spill. So check out what I did. I took a desk and put this desk right here so that, look, there's no way that the drink can spill now. So even if it does, it's nowhere near my computer. I'm a genius. I'm just joking. Josh, 11, thank you so much. Hi, Sam. I'm from Cork, Ireland, and I live about 20 miles away from, I don't know how to, okay, I know that's Queenstown, Coba? I don't know how to say it in modern tongue, but COBH, Queenstown, back in Titanic's day, which is about 20 minutes from Kinsale, which is where the Lusitania sank. That's incredible. So I have a question for you then. Is it possible? Okay, there come my allergies. Okay, you know that feeling when you think you're about to sneeze and then it just stops? Okay, is it possible for y'all to go out to the Lusitania site? That's what I'm wondering about. I can't see you. Image is laggy. Am I coming through okay, guys? Is the image okay? Hello? Is everything okay? Is the image okay? A few people have said that they can't see me. Hello? Am I good? Hi, did I miss anything from we? No. Okay. Everything good? Y'all can't see me? You're a lot of pixels. Image is very laggy. Ah, jeez. It's bad. I'm good. Image is glitchy. It's blurry. Sam, it's fine. Okay. Let's just hang tight for a few minutes and see if it gets better. If it doesn't, then I'll move into the other room. Let's just keep an eye on it because this happened before a few weeks ago. So really blurry and bad. Even let's see, Josh. I've never been out there to see the wreck of the Lusitania. I'm afraid, but I'd love to go to the wreck someday. One of these days. I hope that we can actually visit the Lusitania a little bit more mainstream. It's better now. Okay. Looks like everything. This is just YouTube. This is just YouTube being YouTube. Better. Okay, looks way better. Okay. Because I have a very good Wi-Fi system and I've got full bars. So, I mean, I can't imagine there's not much I can do. Drew, have you done research on Billy the Kid? I have not gotten to that yet. It's getting better now. All right, that's good. Georgia, image is better now. Welcome, Georgia. Welcome to the stream. Ruben, hi. Leiden, hi. Youssef, hi. Goosey, hello, Sam. Can you make a video about the first fleet to Australia with the 11 ships? I do not know about that. I'd have to do some research. Thank you. Tim, what is a good time to text you on Discord? Tim, just shoot me a DM, man. Just shoot me a message, and it's just hit or miss if I see it or not, because I come and go all the time. So I'm not ignoring you or anything. The best time to contact me is if you see me active in the general chat. That's the best time to reach me. Let's see. Simple. Hello. Hail to the show. Hail to this chat. Alfie, evening. I'm building a 1-350 model. Very nice. Elemental Gaming. Sam, my birthday's in 10 days. And what's the Lusitania site? Well, that's what we were talking about, where the Lusitania went down. Elemental, and happy birthday. Domino, any books you recommend on the RMS Titanic? Love your work. Your videos are amazing. I actually have a surprise for everybody in the chat tonight. My favorite book is On a Sea of Glass. I talk about that all the time. Let's see. King, hi, Sam. Where did you get your White Star Line jersey? Also, do you plan on getting some pants and a White Star Line hat to go with it? Not really, but it was a gift. It was a gift from my family for Christmas. I'd have to ask my mother where she got it, because that was a Christmas gift from them. Simon, 10, thank you. Will you consider doing a video about F.R. Thomas Biles? I feel like he doesn't get enough attention. He was willing to give up his life to save souls when the Titanic went down. I actually do not know who he is. Let's do a quick Google. That has gotten my attention. Let's see. Google. Let's see. F.R. Thomas Biles. Let's see. Died April 15, 1912. He was an English Catholic priest, a passenger on board the RMS Titanic. Interesting. Oh, he was the one who I can't believe I didn't know his name. So he was the guy who did the the service on the back of the ship, right? He was the guy who was on the back of the ship doing the reading from the Book of Revelation, correct? That's who that was? The Catholic priest on the RMS Titanic, yeah. Willie, is there any Japanese passengers on the Titanic? I believe there was one. Raj, check the Titanic Honor and Glory website yet? I checked it a few days ago. I saw their store was down. Has something updated with it? Vance, will you talk about the Yamato? Yes, I will get to the Yamato. Gaming with Leo. Hey, Sam, whatever happened to the China on the Titanic? It's still there for the most part, unless I got flung out of the ship during the descent. Yourself, nobody is Chinese. Are you sure there? Wait, there we go. Are you sure there wasn't a Japanese person? I thought there was a Chinese and a Japanese. Herp, do you think the sinking of the Symphony of the Seas would go? How do you think if Symphony of the Seas started to go down, she would most definitely capsize with how big that ship is and how. The thing about the Oasis class ships and most cruise ships these days is they're so top heavy. You know, they're so big these days, and they would not be able to evenly flood. I don't see how that would happen. I mean, maybe initially it would depend on how it went down. Let's see. Captain Alex, what about the Polish passengers on board the Titanic? That'd be interesting. I don't know that much about them. Raj, what is your favorite ship other than either than Titanic or other than, I guess? That would be the Queen Mary. The Queen Mary is my favorite ship. The Little Good Doctor, I am making my own Titanic movie with the information, and I subscribe. Thank you, Little Good Doctor. And I have a surprise video for everybody tonight after the live stream. Elemental, Sam, will you ever talk about Pompeii or the Holocaust? I already did cover Pompeii. And yeah, I'll probably talk about the Holocaust when I get to World War II. Hux, hey, I've rebranded my channel. Do you like it? Also, Lusitania series coming. I have not noticed it yet, Hux, but I will take a look. Just make sure you post a link under the comments for this video. The Epic Show. Hey, Sam, sorry if this is a dumb question. Why didn't Britannic split? Well, okay. The Epic Show, I have to tell you one thing. There is no such thing as a dumb question. There isn't. There is no such thing. And honestly, it all had to do with how these ships went down. When it came to the Titanic, you have to remember the Titanic sinking was very unique in how the ship went down. So everything just happened very strangely with Titanic. The water flooded the ship in such a way that Titanic didn't capsize. And even towards the end, the stern of the Titanic was more or less watertight. The ship was at such a high angle at that point that the watertight bulkheads and stuff, like the water stopped progressing into the stern section to a degree due to the high angle. So, and with that in the way of the engines, the Titanic just sitting more or less level out of the water, just split. But where the Britannic had such a strong list and due to the forward momentum, there was just water everywhere, and the Britannic wasn't really ever sitting straight up out of the water like the Titanic was. The Britannic had a list, sure, and she went up in the air, but she was kind of rolling, like the Britannic sinking and the Titanic sinking were very different. If the Britannic had went down just like Titanic, she might have split. But I've also heard some comparisons to the expansion joint, but yeah. So I hope that kind of clarified it. The way the Titanic went down, the way the Britannic went down, though they had similar damage, was different. And so I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Oh, we got a super chat. 5 from Kenji. Thank you. Hi, Sam. Another don't. I love your vids and live streams. Donation. That's what you mean. I love your videos and live streams. You make me so happy. Funny thing, my birthday is on April 15th. Maybe that's why I love Titanic. Well, maybe it is. Well, happy birthday. Everybody in the chat, let's wish. Everybody say happy birthday to Cringy. Happy birthday, Cringy. Happy birthday. Everybody wish Cringy a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Cringy. Willie, what would have happened? What would happen? I heard the Titanic had plans to move watertight compartments at a higher deck, but it got canceled for more space. Would it make a difference? It wasn't canceled due to more space. Essentially what they did was they decided to make the watertight compartments go up as high as they did because they didn't want the crew to have to go up and over the bulkheads in order to go from one end of the ship to the other. And yeah, if the watertight bulkheads went higher, it might have changed the sinking around a bit. Because you got to remember, a good example of that, I believe the watertight compartments, it was E deck on Titanic. That's how high up they went. With the Britannic, it was B deck. So the Britannic could actually stay afloat with 6 compartments fully flooded. So with the amount of damage the Britannic had due to the mine detonation, she could have stayed afloat, but there were 2 things that doomed the ship. One, the forward momentum didn't help. The only way Britannic could stay afloat with 6 compartments breached is if she did not move. So the ship would just have to sit idle. So you have that, and the nursing staff opened all the portholes. So as the ship went down, the portholes let in a ton of water. And then you add to that the forward momentum of the ship. That's what doomed it. So yes, to answer your question, if the watertight bulkheads went higher, maybe Titanic could have survived. Because it was a really cold night, so I doubt that many porthole windows would have been open. Although there were some porthole windows on the starboard side that were damaged by the iceberg. So I don't know how that would have played out. Another super chat from Daniel, whopping $5. Thank you so much. You think the Titanic would have floated longer if the watertight doors were opened and took a more balanced flooding approach? No. I actually made a video about that. Here's the thing to remember. When a ship floods, it's very unpredictable. And because of the watertight bulkheads, the water was able to stay confined to the front sections of the ship for a while. And if the watertight doors would have been opened and left open, then the water would have favored the Titanic's starboard side to a degree, for a time anyway, because water likes to flow to the side at which it's coming in. So the Titanic was damaged on the starboard side. Water comes in on the starboard side, causes the Titanic to have a list. The water floods the boiler room. Boiler room doors open, so the water doesn't have to completely flood a boiler room before it can move on into the next. The water starts flooding into the starboard side of boiler room 5, starboard side of 4, and then the Titanic just continues to roll more and more to starboard. But due to the watertight doors, the water stayed confined to one area for a time, and it had to fully flood that compartment before it could spill over the tops of the bulkheads. Now, there was other factors in play as well. There was the coal fire, the shift in weight due to the coal. There's Scotland Road to talk about as well, but I hope you get the idea. If they had left the doors open, I don't think Titanic would have made it an hour. Okay. King. Hi, Sam. Sorry for asking this question again, but why do you think Captain Smith and Thomas Andrews jumped off the bridge during the final moments? Well, at that point, there was nothing more they could do, you know? At that point, the captain and Thomas Andrews did everything they could, and the Titanic was in its death throes. I mean, the only thing they could do at that point would be to run further aft, but at the time that the bridge was going under, there was no more order, you know? I think that when the captain and Thomas Andrews left the ship, I don't count that as them being negligent in their duties. I see that as they did everything they could, because the Titanic was breaking apart at that point. There was no order. It was just chaos when they left. So in my opinion, they were with the Titanic until the end. $5 from Joseph. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From Joe in Wyoming. Where do you get your ship models? I actually bought them from the Titanic Honor and Glory site, but they have, as of late, been taken down. I'm not really sure why. And that's very concerning because I still have 3 models on order from them. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But yeah, you can't get them right now, unfortunately. Hopefully they'll bring them back when the store comes back up. Graham, 10, thank you. Hey, sorry, I missed the last few live streams. Earlier question tonight. Do you have a favorite between Olympic and Britannic? Boo. Do I have a favorite between Olympic and Britannic? Well, I am more interested in shipwrecks than ships that actually, I like shipwrecks more than ships that actually had a full career. But when I say that, I mean interested in. But the Olympic still has a very interesting story. And you know what? I think I would have to side with Olympic. Just because of its whole history. It was the first of the White Star Line fleet. I was really considering saying Britannic, because she's kind of the forgotten sister and everything. But, the biggest thing the Britannic had, the biggest story with the Britannic was the sinking. But the Olympic has a ton of stories. They called her Old Reliable. She rammed a U-boat, carried a bunch of troops during the war. The Olympic had a really good career. So I'm going to say Olympic. Simon, greetings from Canterbury. Awesome. Watching with my girlfriend who's from Southampton. Awesome. What do you think really happened to Murdoch? I think that what happened to Murdoch, the last known sighting of Murdoch was that he was on the Titanic starboard side, starboard side, right by the first funnel, dealing with collapsible A. And as the final plunge began and the Titanic's first funnel was going down, pretend my hand's the water, as the ship was making its final plunge, he was last reported dealing with collapsible A. Somebody said that they saw him like fighting with ropes or something, trying to work on collapsible A, and he got swamped when this massive wave overtook the ship. So I think he was lost in the water. I don't think he shot himself or anything like we see in the James Cameron film. 5 from Tana. Thank you. Hey, Sam, were the warnings about ice ignored, or did they feel the pressure to arrive in New York on time? No, they were not ignored. Most of the ice warnings on the Titanic arrived on the 14th, the day of. And what a lot of people don't know is that the Titanic was not going for a speed record. She wasn't. And the big reason we know this is because Boiler Room 1. So essentially the way the Titanic worked was the boiler rooms were laid out. There were 6 boiler rooms. Boiler rooms 6 and 5 were underneath the first funnel, 4 and 3 underneath the second funnel, 2 and 1 under the third. And as we all know, the fourth funnel was fake. Underneath the fourth funnel was essentially where the engines were. So Boiler Room 1 was never lit throughout the entire voyage. So the Titanic was not going for any kind of record. And the big thing is the Titanic was running at 21 knots, but it was just being really efficient. They probably could have gotten a couple of more knots out of her if the ship would have had Boiler Room 1 lit. So if they were going for a speed record, then that's what would have happened. Now, as far as the ship continuing at fast speed through an ice field, you have to remember the conditions that night appeared to be perfect. The crew didn't know about the mirage effect. And besides that, the captain had actually taken the Titanic and diverted her further south. So the ship was further south than where they actually planned to be. So the captain thought he took appropriate precautions. So I hope that answered your question. Their whole idea was to keep going at regular speed, and then if conditions deteriorated, then they'd slow down. That was the whole plan. They didn't know about the mirage effect. And when that iceberg showed up, it was 30 seconds. Jeremy, so many things lined up perfectly for the Titanic to sink, like it was meant to happen. You can say that for any disaster. You know, a disaster is a series of unfortunate events that line up to make a perfect disaster. I mean, look at the space shuttle Columbia. I mean, that crew was in space for what, 2 weeks, I think, with a giant hole in the wing. And no one even realized that, you know, they saw that foam strike that came off the external tank and hit the wing, but no one really thought that foam would put that massive hole in the shuttle's wing. You know, it was just a series of unfortunate events. Captain Alex, correction, 37 seconds. Captain Alex, I know what you're talking about, but that's actually a guess based on maneuverability tests done on Olympic. We don't know exactly how long it was from when they saw the iceberg to when the Titanic turned. That's an approximation based on some things with Olympic. Silly, are you going to go on the 2022 Titanic? Well, one, I am very skeptical if they're going to even build it. And number two, I really don't like the idea of them building it. I feel like it's a little bit disrespectful to the tragedy. I talk about that all the time. Because you got to remember, even though there is a second Titanic, in the interior sections, it won't be like the Titanic at all. You can't have a ship like Titanic in the modern era. It's, yeah. Titanic Gaming, Sam! Nice exclamation marks. Do you think they should make the Queen Mary a working ship again? And hey, what do you think of the knock that was on the Queen Mary when you were there? Honestly, Gaming, I would absolutely... One second. Gaming, I would love for them to restore the Queen Mary. I really would. But I know that's not going to happen because... I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people on here that are interested in Titanic, but I don't know if she would be worth it, like on a revenue side, to restore her. I mean, that really pains me to say it, but I don't know if enough people would want to sail on the ship, you know? And besides, as it would cost, I don't even want to think about how much money. Because look at the SS United States, you know, because I forget the cruise line, was it Crystal? But they wanted to restore the SS United States and make it a modern ship. And it would cost a fortune. And I think there were concerns about how many people would sail on it. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know if there's enough interest to sail on the golden age of ocean liners in today's age. I hope there would be. I would sail on it. I would love to see the Queen Mary and the United States sail again. I think that would be so cool to see. Can you imagine how cool that would be to see those famous ships cruising up on the horizon, and see a real golden age ocean liner? Oh, that would just be so cool. Let's see. Another super chat, 5 from Elise. Thank you. Don't call Sam from Historic Travels at 3 a.m. I'm not really sure what you're trying to say there, but okay. But thank you for the 5. Let's see. Christopher, please do the Olympic during World War I. I'm going to cover the entire timeline of the Olympic. That's my plan with that. Pencil, hey Sam, are you going to do a video on the German Bismarck? Yes. Excuse me. Jared, I have a video idea! Exclamation. You could go into a deep dive of different shipwrecks. And also, did you know that there was a mummy on the Titanic that caused people to think it was bad luck? There was no mummy on the Titanic. That was a conspiracy story. I covered that in my Conspiracies of the Titanic video. Essentially, what that was, there was an author. I forget his name. But essentially, people in London at the time blamed bad things that would happen, bad luck, on a mummy's curse. And anyway, he was telling that story to some passengers on the Titanic, and then he died in the sinking. And then those passengers repeated his story to some people on New York. So then the mummy's curse story came to be. Willie, imagine this Titanic is raised from the water. Can they repair it? No. The Titanic is basically, if you even tried to move the Titanic at this late stage, she would completely fall apart. Daniel, 5, thank you. Hi from Belfast. Well, hello. My question is, what would happen if the Titanic lasted about 40 minutes after the crew launched the last lifeboat? Well, you know, if the Titanic had lasted a little bit longer, I still think it would have been chaos. But maybe it depends on what you mean by the last lifeboat. If you're talking about collapsible C and D, the last two boats that were actually launched from the Titanic, then they would have had more time to prep and launch collapsibles A and B. So they would have had more time to deal with that. They might have been able to get those boats off, maybe save a few more people. But once those once the final plunge began, you know, there really wasn't that much you could do. Maybe make some rafts. I don't know. Joe Freddy, have you heard of the SS Falba? She was the first merchant Falba. She was the first merchant ship to be torpedoed in World War I and caused outrage in America. I have not heard of that ship, the SS Falba. I'm going to look into that. Thank you so much. I am going to add that to my notes. Copy. Thank you for the video idea. That would be a very interesting topic. Paste. Thank you. All right. What else we got here? Graham, thought of another one. Any plans on content on the SS Normandy? That's on the list. That's on the list. But thank you for the 5. Thank you. Okay, Roge, do you think the guy who asked if he could get into the capsized lifeboat was Captain Smith? That's highly debated, and there is no way to know for sure. But I think it's possible. I think it's very, very possible that could be that could have been Captain Smith. Alex Crawford, fun fact, my ancestor